I'm Gabby with Cooking with the Cullinans, and today we are going to make French macarons. I have gone ahead and filled these with the Jell-O frosting. You can check out that video too. I made this delicious treat for a friend of mine who is gluten-free and dairy-free. Don't get frustrated when you make them. It does take quite a few times of making them for them to come out right, and besides, they taste good even if they don't come out exactly right. I hope you enjoy. These are the items that you are going to need in order to make the French macarons. So I have 100 grams of egg whites. I have 140 grams of almond flour that will be sifted. I have 90 grams of white sugar, 130 grams of powdered sugar that also will be sifted, a teaspoon of vanilla, a quarter of a teaspoon of cream of tartar, and I also have some food coloring. I like to use the powder kind, and I'm going to make these green. I also have a pastry bag with a tip that's ready to go. You will need a stand mixer or a hand mixer and a whisk attachment, as well as you will also need some baking sheets lined with either a Silpat or with parchment paper. Either way, I like to use the Silpats only because they have this little ring there, and it makes it a little bit easier. But if you don't have them, you can certainly use parchment paper, or if that is your preference. All right, let's get started. So here I have the egg whites in my stand mixer. I have the sugar ready to go, along with the cream of tartar, the vanilla, and the green coloring. So I'm going to go ahead and start the mixer, and as soon as the egg whites start to kind of foam up, I'm going to go ahead and put in the cream of tartar and the green food coloring. I will then add the vanilla and the sugar. And when I add the granulated sugar, I'm just going to do it very slowly so that it's just kind of a steady stream. And I'm also going to go ahead and use a spatula to push down the sides, in other words, to make sure that the sugar and everything is off the sides and it all gets combined. So you can see that the egg whites are starting to get foamy. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the cream of tartar and the green food coloring. Now I have everything in here except for the sugar in the egg whites. So I have the egg whites, the cream of tartar, the vanilla, and also the green food coloring. You can see it's pretty foamy, so I'm going to go ahead on about medium high, pretty close to high. I'm going to start to drizzle in the sugar. I'm going to show that to you, but it will be pretty loud. I have been mixing the egg white mixture on high in my stand mixer for just about 2.5 minutes. Now, this will greatly depend on how old the eggs are, the temperature, the humidity, all of those things. So really, it's not about the time, it's about what it looks like. So once you stop and you take the whisk attachment off, the egg whites should stay standing up just like this. So now the egg white mixture is ready, and I'm going to mix in by hand with the spatula the mixture of the almond flour and the powdered sugar. And then I will show you what that looks like when it is ready to begin filling the piping bag. I did combine the almond flour and powdered sugar mixture into the egg white mixture in thirds. So 1/3, kept stirring, add another third, and then the last third, and I just kept stirring. So what you want this mixture to be like, so that you know when it's time to put it in the piping bag, is you want it to flow off of the spatula just like this, and you want it to combine back into itself pretty quickly, just like that. Now, you may have to stir it for quite some time, or it might not take as much time. It really just depends on the temperature of your house, how, again, like I said, how old the eggs are, and also how humid it is inside your home. The next step is I'm going to load it into the piping bag, and we'll start piping out the macarons. All right, so you can see I have one tray done, and I'm just turning the pastry bag in order to make the dough come out faster or slower. And that is the process for each one. And the key is to try to make them about the same size. Sometimes they come out the same size, and sometimes they don't. I do try to use the circle as my guide, and I also find myself sometimes counting in my head a certain number to try to get them a consistent size. Now, don't be upset if the first few times that you make macarons, it is really a struggle for you. I will say that I have made hundreds and hundreds of them, and sometimes they turn out just right, and other times they don't rise correctly. So just keep practicing is what I'll say. So the next step is that we're gonna let these dry for about 50 minutes. Again, it's gonna kind of depend on how humid your house is. Mine right now is about 55% humidity. I do live in Florida. I do have the air conditioning on. So with the 55% humidity, I'm gonna let these dry, like I said, for between 50 minutes and an hour. And what you're looking for is that you want the top of them to not stick to your finger. So when you kind of touch them, you want them to be a bit spongy and not stick to your finger. All right, I'll see you in about 55 minutes. The one step that I did forget to mention is that once you have piped them out, you'll want to slam them up and down on the counter just to get them to spread out. And what you're looking for are air bubbles, plus you want them to be nice and flat. So it kind of looks like this. It's loud, be careful. And you're looking for any air bubbles that you'll then use a little toothpick to kind of pop the air bubble so that you get a really nice, flat, smooth surface. And you will see that they are shiny. Here's one little mess up. When you get them too close, sometimes they do touch like this. There's really no way to fix that. So, as I said, see you in about 50 minutes. All right, these macarons have been drying for about 50 minutes, actually for exactly 50 minutes, and they are kind of spongy to the touch, and the dough does not come off on your finger. So I preheated the oven to 310 degrees. That is what works best for my oven, but it could be anywhere from around 300 to 320 degrees. We are going to cook them for 12 minutes. So I'm going to do 2 trays at a time, 6 minutes on the bottom, 6 minutes on the top. I'll see you in 12 minutes. All right, the macarons had been baking in the oven for the 12 minutes, and they came out. I put them on these drying racks, but left them on the silpat. They're gonna cool for about an additional 3 minutes, and then we will take the macaron, the cookie part, off of the silpat. You can see that they have I'm gonna take this one off. They have a really nice foot to them. They are shiny and smooth on the top. The next step will be to turn them into macarons with the filling on the inside. So here are the finished macarons, and you can see that I've gone ahead and piped these with some of the Jell-O frosting, and you can see my video for how to make the Jell-O frosting. But there you go. I'm making these for a friend that is gluten-free and dairy-free as well, so this checks off all the boxes. I sure hope that she enjoys them for St. Patrick's Day. If you're liking the video, please subscribe to our videos. Please subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and most importantly, leave me a comment. I'll see you the next time.